It's scary.
That's pretty weird.
Little zombie-like.
My name's Alex Lepe, and I sleep with my eyes open.
I saw him sleeping with his eyes open for the first time maybe a year and a half ago. And when I came to wake him up, he was sleeping with his eyes open. It was creepy. It was strange. I was waving my hand in front of his eyes and just no acknowledgement of my hand right in front of his face. I mean, almost touching his nose.
Sat there talking to you. All of a sudden, like 10 minutes later, we're sitting there, like going to your face. Hello. Hey. Dead asleep. Alex was just like passed out. He had a good nap apparently.
The funniest time was when he was lying on his back, sleeping with his eyes open and his mouth open, and he was snoring like in the cartoons, where it was like...
I've probably slept with my eyes open all my life. I just didn't realize it. I remember when I was younger, my dad always told me to turn the ceiling fan off in my room whenever I went to sleep, and I never really understood why, so sometimes I'd leave it on. He'd always know in the morning, and I never knew how.
And we were like, dude, that's weird, and you should turn the fan off when you sleep, because otherwise your eyeballs are going to dry up and fall out of your head.
The air from the ceiling fan really dried my eyes out and made them really red, so that's how my dad would know.
I also feel bad that he sleeps with his eyes open because, like, you know, no one wants to wake up with dry eyes that bad. So.
A lot of people sleep with their eyes open, and in some cases it can be a symptom for bilateral facial weakness, but mostly it's no big deal. And the biggest impairment you'll have is some dryness in your eyes in the morning.
Cameron, I've known Alex since high school. I've never seen him sleeping with his eyes open, but I am myself an open-eyed sleeper. I feel his pain, because one time I apparently twitch in my sleep as well, and I sleep with my eyes open, so my friends thought I had been bitten by a spider. So they thought I was dying or something, so they woke me up and cost me precious time sleeping. But also, there's an advantage, because every time someone tries to sneak up on me and with me, I somehow know that they're there. So, it's a good time.
I had a lot of interesting experiences sleeping with my eyes open. My freshman year in college, I was in the middle of a conversation with a couple of guys I hung out with a lot. As I went to my computer, they noticed I stopped talking in the middle of the conversation. After a while, I woke up and I was staring at my computer monitors with a hand waving in front of my face. Turns out they'd been talking to me for about 5 minutes and I'd been out. I guess that's what happens whenever you don't get enough sleep.
Well, we were driving back from Louisiana and I'd been talking to you for about 10 minutes before I noticed that you were actually sleeping with your eyes open.
I don't recall actually seeing it, but I think I woke up to everybody else in the room having fun with the fact that you were sleeping with your eyes open.
I actually tried to start conversations with him when he's sleeping with his eyes open because I thought he was awake. And I've had to check, I've had to ask him, hey, are you awake? Even when he started talking to me, because I wasn't quite sure if he was awake or asleep.
I remember once I was nodding off in my Unix class, and I actually went to sleep. My eyes were still open. And after a while I woke up and the friend of mine I was sitting next to told me that the professor kept looking up in our direction and there was another guy sleeping behind us, but he already realized that that guy was sleeping. He just kept looking up because he wasn't sure if I was asleep or not because my eyes were open.
It's weird but also kind of admirable because classes get boring and you wished you could sleep with your eyes open.
Good skill in class apparently too. The teacher focused on the fact that your eyes are open. I want to learn that someday.
I think people that sleep with their eyes open are freaks.
I think people that sleep with their eyes open are incredibly talented and not scared of intruders, or very scared of intruders.
Well, you do look a lot like Bruce Lee sometimes with the hair. And so, you know, sometimes I think it's like some weird martial arts thing, you know? Like you're just extremely paranoid.
I think it's funny. And also it's just slightly creepy because you know that like the person's not awake, but you know that they're alive, but the eyes do look really lifeless. So it is a bit creepy.
That's ridiculous. You should sleep with your eyes closed.
My dog also sleeps with his eyes open, and although when he sleeps with his eyes open, he's really deep asleep. And if you try to talk to him or get him to play with you, when he's asleep with his eyes open, he'll pee all over the place.
One more time. Make love to the camera.
Let's rock on.
Alright. That's good.
It's almost like you're a weatherman.